me. Too greedy with the... Oh my god, I didn't hit that side. Do it.
Hey support mains, this guide is going to go through over 15 tips for you to start impacting your lane and to get your ADC into a position to carry the game. Let's get into it by starting with early lane warding. Try and get into a habit of not dropping your first ward in one of the lane bushes, even if the enemy has control. The best ward that we can do early is roughly where the scuttle spawns in the middle of the river. This is likely where we will first see the enemy jungler. Not only can we see when the enemy jungler is going for that bottom scuttle crab, we can also converge on him with our mid and jungler if we have lane priority. Securing this crab means we can put our next ward in either the tri-brush or the lane brush. We all know that feeling when the enemy blitzcrank hits level 2 first and you immediately start hovering your flash as you run to the safety of your tower. So let's prevent that. Hitting level 2 first is your biggest priority once you and your ADC get to lane, so we need to help push the wave with auto attacks. The higher elo you are, the more tactical the first 2 to 3 mini waves will become. If you want to try and land a kill at level 2, you want to clear the first wave roughly at the same time as your enemy, then rush the first 3 melee minions in the second wave. The reason we don't rush the first wave is because if we push it too quickly, we leave no room to make an aggressive play. The enemy will recognize what we're doing and they'll just back off the tower. But if we can sell the idea that the enemy is close in the race for level 2, we can use our support item to win the race before the enemies can react, giving us an opportunity to flash all in them. Even if we didn't land a kill, it's likely we would have burnt a flash or heavily chunked their HP, giving us early lane priority until our first base. Most enemies will know that we're going for a quick level 2 and they might respect that, but they may not be respecting our flash to gap close onto them. In this clip, Morgana ditches Kai'Sa, who is still pushing for the level 2, and she's not far enough away from a flash all in. Kai'Sa does a greedy late flash, still dies, and then misses a full wave. If you want to make plays on these aggressive supports, whether they're engage or enchanters, offensive flashes are really the best ways to make plays in the early lane. Make sure you know your champion's power spikes and ping ahead of time for your ADC so they can react to your play. Great times to make an offensive play are when you have a level 2 or level 6 advantage or with an item spike. Just before Dragon is spawning is another great opportunity to make a play and secure an objective for your team. Just consider the rest of the map and what vision coverage you have before going in. You never know who's in the darkness when you flash forward. Practice makes perfect with this style of aggressive play. Make sure you get a few practice runs in, maybe play some normies with your duo partner and see how you go against different matchups.
Where you going, Yumi? What's that? Oh, minions!
Most supports we take the inspiration tree as our secondary runes, and in that tree we take Cosmic Insight, meaning our flash is on a 40-second shorter cooldown than any enemy without it. So we need to start abusing this. Make a flash all-in play on the ADC. It's so common that they will just panic flash at the sight of our aggression. Then, once our flash is back up, we have a 40-second window to all-in them again for an almost certain kill if executed correctly. Make sure you push out the wave, back and buy before your flash comes off cooldown so we can really maximize this 40-second window. In the previous clip, Caitlyn uses her flash in response to mine. Here's what happens 4 minutes later now that mine's back up and hers is still on cooldown. Ping the enemy flashes as soon as you get the opportunity to and it's safe. That way on your next back you can scroll up through the chat, look at the timestamp, add the +5 to the timers as you're walking back to lane. Focus on your lane when you start doing this, but then later on as you get better at it, you can start timing your teammates' pings as you're looking around the map, or if they ping them out for you. Your jungler's going to love you. It's good to time enemy flashes outside of your lane as well, because then we'll know who to engage on at the next team fight or OBJ fight. If you want a higher chance of hitting your abilities, you have to play off the HP of your allied minions. When they are low, it's our time to shine. Are you planning on going for an all-in soon? Try and proc their bone plating or guardian beforehand. This will make a massive difference in the fight. For early levels as an enchanter, we only really want to be trading safely when our mana flow band stacks are ready. If we start over trading, we'll go really quickly and maybe get poked down and not be able to utilize our power spike, whether that's level 2 or level 3. We also need to avoid using our AoE poking abilities that will push our minions towards the enemy tower and leave our lane in a position to be easily ganked. Lux and Xerath mains, I'm talking to you. If we do want to play that aggressive style of heavy poke, we need to make sure our vision is up so we don't get ganked. As supports, our pressure in lane comes from our positioning and abilities. Zoning out an enemy bot laner is arguably stronger than killing them. They are missing farm and XP. So if you're the type of support who is out of mana 2 minutes into returning to lane, let's break that habit. Let's go back to our Blitzcrank example. We've all felt the pressure of a Blitzcrank standing in that last bush near your tower, and your ADC is tiptoeing around trying to get any farm that's safe. But once the Blitzcrank has thrown his hook, he is likely to retreat from that position until his hook is back up and your ADC can farm freely. This is the same for many champions, not just Blitzcrank. Morgana Q, Lux Q, Swain E, Pyke Q, Thresh Q, Nautilus Q, and many more. Now let's get a bit creative. The next counter wave arrives and we want to pressure the ADC. Hold your pressuring ability, do not give them an easy cannon. Play up on this cannon, wait and see how the enemy reacts. They might greed for the cannon knowing you're standing waiting for them to go for it, or they could walk away and lose the 80 gold. If we are not patient with our abilities, each time we miss, we lose all lane pressure and our ADC has to farm 1 vs 2. So if you're going to throw them out, make them count. The general rule I have with back or recall timers is that you don't want to be in lane by yourself. If your ADC dies or you have died and your ADC has backed by the time you get to lane, you should not be there by yourself because you can't do anything. Take these opportunities to roam mid, deep ward, or gank with your jungler, then head back down to bot. Generally, if we stay bot by ourselves, we open ourselves up to being dove by the enemy jungler 1 vs 3, which then allows them to dive your ADC once they return to lane 1 vs 3 as well. If you're not getting dove, you're most likely just getting zoned off XP and farm anyway, so just go be impactful somewhere else. This is why ideally we always want to back with our AD carry. You shouldn't have split back timings unless one of you has died or had to recall because you were low from a fight.
Check out part 2 here or in the description.